How different is that?
A lot of it transitions over from when I go in like 30 personnel and I play bandit, like the extra defensive back. A lot of it transitions over, but still tough because I'm not usually used to like being in like the run gaps, like the correct fits. But it's going well.
With as much shifting around as you've done in your career, do you feel like you're kind of like a walking encyclopedia of Bud's defense at this point? I mean, you got a pretty good working knowledge, I got to imagine, of what he wants to do in all areas, huh? I mean, other than up front, maybe.
Well, this is my third position since being here.
Yeah.
It starts off difficult, but like once you get a hang of it, I guess he's trying to like. I enjoy it, and he's trying to help me progress for like the future, where like I'll have more knowledge on like defense and like what the offense try to game plan from like different points of views. So I think it's going to be a big benefit to our future.
So you look at it obviously as a benefit. I mean, some people might look at it as like, oh man, I can't get established in one spot. Does that ever cross your mind? Or?
No, I enjoy the challenge.
Yeah.
He's trying to challenge me because he knows like I'm better than I may have been performing at some points. So I think it's good.
All right, questions for Coach Sheik.
Justin was telling us about the recruiting process to get Oscar here, that you didn't get a trip to Australia. Are you disappointed?
No, I didn't.
Are you disappointed?
I just want to make sure. I got a good buddy that did that, but went straight over and came straight back. If I'm going, I'm staying for a week, is what I told him. So I'll probably never get that worked out. But we're thrilled to have him. Of course, we hadn't had a lot of time with him yet, but what we've seen so far is very, very promising. So we're very excited about him.
How did that whole process come about? I mean, I know you had coached an Australian punter before at Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get here? How did you kind of get on?
Just through the contact and connection that we had over there. The guy that's training him, he's actually, it's been growing. You know, there's more and more Australian punters here, you know, in the United States, not just in college. There's some in that have made it to the NFL too. So, but we came through that contact through Memphis, a guy that was really well and that was really good. And, you know, it's kind of carried on. Number one, it's about trust. I mean, he's sending somebody a long ways away to go to school, and he's got to know that we're going to take care of him. And we understand each other as far as what we're trying to do scheme-wise and everything. So he kind of preps him in that manner. So it's just through that contact. The guy that's training him, his name's Nathan Chapman, does a great job. So
For a guy in your position, coaching a guy that, as Joey said, had never seen a rush coming in his face before Tuesday's practice,
Mm-hmm.
is it tough to work with a guy that's such a blank slate like that, or do you like that from a guy that's punting standpoint?
You know, he's got a lot to learn. I mean, there's the rule. He's got to learn the rules too, and then the football there. You know, the Australian football is totally different. But I would assume they have guys coming at them and they're kicking the ball still. So that's the least of my concerns. I do think they got to get a good feel for that. I think every punter does, to be honest with you. So I just know with dealing with these guys before, they're extremely competitive, number one. Just through the way they're brought up playing the Australian rules football. And that's what I've liked the most. And we've had success with it. So, you know, so we're excited about it. I've never coached a left-footed punter before, so it's a little different for me. You know, I was asking Cornelson if it's the same as a left-handed quarterback, you know, and I think it is because you're kind of how you scheme things are a little bit backwards, you know, sometimes. So it may take a little bit more for me to get used to than him, I think. So, but he's doing great, working his tail off, and he's picking up things really, really quick. So.
How did you get to Virginia Tech? How did they find you, or you find them?
Good start. So when I was 17, I was living in Sydney playing Aussie rules. That's the sport I played growing up, and I was really into that. And then as school started to take over, I decided to give it away. And just as I was starting to give it away, my dad got me involved with this guy, Nathan Chapman, at Pro Kick Australia in Melbourne. So that was a 10-hour drive south of where I was living in Sydney at the moment. So what happened was I went to a camp of his. He evaluated how I was going, sort of the strength I have in my leg and how consistent I could get. And from there, he invited me to move down to Melbourne and start training with him and John Smith at Pro Kick Australia. So it was a big move. I decided to finish my schooling in Sydney though before moving down to Melbourne. And then when I did make the move in January last year, I was training from probably January all the way through to December when I left. So it was a big move and it was a lot to take in, but it led to me coming here. So yeah.
Did you look at any other American universities, any other schools look at you, or was this the relationship that?
There was a bit of interest from other schools, and when I came here in July to go visit a couple schools and whatnot. But So I came here in July to look at a couple schools, and there was a bit of interest from other schools. But once I had spoken to Coach Chibes and Coach Fuente, I kind of knew that this is the place to be, and yeah, that's how I got over here.
How different are the rules between what you were playing over there and what they want you to do here?
Oh, vastly. It's a completely different sport. Aussie rules is played on a much larger oval and different ball type, heavier ball. It's made out of kangaroo leather actually, so that's a very domestic thing. But yeah, it's a vastly different sport. It's going to take in the position that I play, I think that I'll be able to adapt quite easily to what my role is in the team. But as far as the rules between sports go, yeah, it's vastly different.
So in Aussie rules, you had never seen an oncoming rush. Joey said on Tuesday you had never punted with the.
Well, that's the thing. In Aussie rules, there is an oncoming rush, and it's 360 all the time.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you're always surrounded by people that are trying to tackle you and stuff. But that was the first time that I'd stood in front of the line of people and like rushing line as well. So it was a little bit to get used to, but that's with a lot of things when I move here. It's a bit to get used to.
Is it, Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch, how do you view this opportunity that's kind of here for you this spring to impress the coaches, maybe grab a spot?
I'll take it as a blessing. Coming in as a freshman, they told me they wanted me coming in playing immediately, so redshirting was out of the picture, and I came in and contributed to the special teams, and that was a big step for me. So coming in now, playing Rover and taking over for Rel in the spring, that's a big step, so I just got to take advantage of it.
What do you like about Rover? What fits your skill set there?
I'll say more in the box, physical and contact, or the contact side of everything, and then of course in coverage, my speed with tight ends and stuff like that.
Is it hard? I know with Terrell moving to a new position, there's not really like a veteran guy back there who's played it like Chuck would have been last year. Who do you go to if you have questions? Is it just coaches or?
No, I'll go to Rel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rel, he's pretty experienced with everything. When he came as a freshman, he played corner and then moved over to strong safety. Now he's at free, so he's been everywhere in secondary.
What did special teams? What did that experience do for you in terms of kind of getting you ready for a bigger role this year?
Physically, he got me ready. Going against all those big guys and punt, PBR, kickoff, being double teamed. So physically, I say it got me mentally prepared for the contact and the beating I will be taking.
Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Good to meet you. In terms of this opportunity that's in front of you with all the openings and this team needing some receivers, how excited do you get about knowing that there's some chance to play there in front of you?
I mean, I'm happy to know I can play this year and that I have opportunities, but just like all the other receivers, we go out there every practice trying our hardest just to be the man and get that spot.
How much more ready are you to contribute right now than you were when you first arrived?
I'm way more ready because I feel like I'm more mature now. Since I've been here, I learned a lot from great guys like Isaiah and Buck, and Cam's still here to help mentor me. Like he's like an older brother to me, so I feel like I'm ready.
On the one hand, it kind of sucks to go somewhere where there are all those guys entrenched and you don't get a lot of time right away, but was having them here very helpful for you?
I think having them here was great. I don't think it sucked at all because they were here, because both of those guys are about to be in the NFL, so we got to learn a lot from them.
You learn anything specific? Anything stand out from either one or both?
Well, Buck's a bigger receiver, so learn how to use his body. Like, we know how to use our body. And then Zay, with the releases, getting off the line, really helped me, too.
You played a little bit last year. Phil redshirted. Would you have had a preference one way or another? Are you glad you played and had that experience?
Yeah, I trust our coaches, and I believe that they put me in the right situation at the right time. So I'm confident and happy with what I did last season.
How much translates? Is there a lot changing offense-wise year 2, or is what you learned last year pretty helpful?
Everything I learned last year is doing great for me this year so far.
Ready to roll here? All right, Coach, go ahead.
All right, second week of spring practice number 4. We're still in the installation phase. Had a good week last week. Hopefully we'll have another good one today. Just kind of taking it one step at a time. We're still in the infancy of this thing in regards to this spring. But the kids have had 3 good workouts. So anxious to see them again today. I am pleased that you guys got to spend some time with Joey today. I know he's a special young man, an adult, kind of along the same lines as some of those great seniors we had last year. And obviously he's been through some personal tragedy that he's trying to highlight or bring some attention to. So awfully happy that he's on our football team, and I know he's got the ear and mind and heart of many of his teammates. So, fire away.
You have a left-footed Australian punter in a spot where you need somebody. What have you seen from him, and then where's your confidence in how quickly he'll be ready?
Well, I've seen him punt the ball the days we've done punt. I mean, it's a long ways away from giving him a full evaluation. I expect him to be ready to play the first football game. But he's done a good job so far.
When you're scouting that position, what is it as simple as hang time, distance, or are there things you're looking for when you, I guess, saw his video from Australia? Or
Well, I mean, that's certainly part of it. Hang time, distance, ability to get the ball off quickly. That's certainly a part of it. But as you can imagine, the transition is somewhat different than it would be for somebody from the States. So we're trying to make sure that we have a handle on his ability to handle the transition the best that we can. It's another part of just trying to figure it out. Is he a competitive kid? Is it something he really, really wants to do? That sort of stuff.
I know it's not like you have a game to play tomorrow or anything, but with Houchen out for the spring, pretty young at defensive end, pretty experienced. What is that like, having that little experience in that position for a full 15 practices?
Well, it's what was it like?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's concerning, but I mean, I would imagine you would like a little more experience there.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to know that we're getting a couple of those guys back. It's great to get reps for the young guys, and we've got some young signees that we're going to need to grow up in a hurry as well. You'd like to have the full complement of everyone out there on both sides of the ball, but that's just not going to happen, So I think we approach it more from it's a fact of life, and that's the way it is, and it's our job to develop the guys that are out there. I'm a big believer in that, in terms of you're not just always measuring yourself against the fifth-year senior that's a good player, but guys behind him, having those guys ready to play. So it may be somewhat of a blessing in disguise when it all's said and done.
You've said that those guys were going to get more reps than they really wanted in the spring. How have they handled that increased workload?
Well, it's been good. I mean, we've only practiced one time in anything other than pajamas. I mean, we've been in helmets the first 2 days and one practice in shoulder pads. So, I mean, we haven't hit the grind of, where you really, really worry about that sort of stuff. But we will. But they've done a good job so far, rotating it.
what do you?
I know Brad mentioned that he was pleased with the depth at the receiver position, at least the numbers that you have right now. But with Jalen out and with CJ out, both of which it seems like you knew about prior to spring, obviously, did that give you pause about moving Divine to the secondary? Was that a big part of the conversation?
Well, I mean, we moved him,
Okay.
because we felt like that was best for Divine and ultimately best for the football team in the long run.
Has he worked at all at receiver? Is he doing both at all, or no? Okay.
I mean, really, we try to evaluate each one of those kids and their future and their potential, and try and do what's best for the team and what's best for them, and that was a decision. the short term, it may lead us to be a little bit thin, but in my estimation, that's what's best for what we're doing.